Hello, today I wanted to try out my new Faber Castell sketch pad. You can't have too many sketch pads, can you? And I bought this one a couple of weeks ago when I bought the Faber Castell pens that I reviewed then. If you haven't seen the review for those, that's up here. But like I say, you can't have too many sketch pads, and I like the look of this one. It says ideal for graphite, coloured and watercolour pencils and perfect for PITT pens, which is the reason I got it. So it's 40 sheets. And I thought I'd start by having a little go at a portrait in it. So I'll put that video at the end of this with the portrait that I did. So I'll show you that now. So this was just a young girl and just done in pencils. So I used, let me think, I used a 2B and a 4B and perhaps the F as well. Okay, so when I'm concentrating on something like this, I find it very difficult to talk to you and talk through how I'm doing it. So that's the reason I didn't, do that. But I will put it at the end and I'll put some little notes underneath saying what I'm doing. So I work in two ways together really, and you'll see that I move around quite a bit when I'm sketching. To begin with, I put some guidelines in, which you'll later see me rub out, just to get the measurements right in the place the eyes, the shape of the head, the ears, the mouth, the important parts. And then I'll do quite a bit of line work, where obviously things like the hair and getting some of these lines of the mouth and the eyes in. But then I also work quite tonally, moving around, looking to see where the darkest shadows are and where the highlights are. And I'll put highlights in as well afterwards with my rubber, and I sometimes use this one, an electric one as well, which is good for getting, a bit of a highlight back in. Whoops, made a mess there. I think it must be a bit mucky. There we go. So yeah, so obviously when you're doing a portrait, the highlights tend to be where the bones are. The light, usually the light's coming from above, it'll settle under our eyes, it settles on our brow bones. So depending on where the light's coming from, you need to look for where the lights and the darks are. Okay, so it's really the paper I wanted to talk about. So you'll see in the video that I use my finger a lot to smudge, and I liked how this paper worked with this technique. And it's a nice thick paper, you can see there, and the other thing is it's really nice and white as well. So I will try it with the pens as well, as it says that it's good for PITT pens, and I'll go for the fine one, and I'll do something next to her, perhaps just do another quick sketch of her really. So again, if you're looking at somebody, perhaps you're sat sketching somebody, you have to work really quickly, just get a very quick outline of the face. Don't worry too much about the detail. Perhaps put the eyeline in, you'll have seen me do that, and the shape of the face, and then the hairline and things like that. She's got a nice big bun on the top of her head, and she's looking slightly to one side. So very sketchy. You'll see a lot of this kind of thing in my sketchbooks, where I'm just very quickly getting a feel for the subject in front of me and some of the shapes. Yeah, and the pen's moving nicely across this paper. It's a nice paper, like I say, really bright white, so it's going to be nice for sketching on with these pens. And she's looking off to one side. Of course, when you're working in pen and you're doing eyes, make sure you leave some white of the paper. Again, it's only a sketch, it's obviously not a finished picture, so it doesn't really matter too much. But so yeah, I mean, I could go on all day, but I do like this paper, and I like both with the pen and the pencil. Let's get a basic features in. And you can go wild with the hair, can't you? She's got this really wayward hairdo. Okay, so I like this paper and I'm sure I'm going to fill this pad in. I don't know if you've used it or not, but if you have, let me know what you think of it. I've never used it before, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to give it a go today, and I'll keep on filling this sketchbook in for you over the coming weeks. Might be interesting to try it with some coloured pencils and things as well. I mean, it did say, let's just have a look. It did say watercolour pencils, so how much water it will actually take, I don't know, because it is essentially a cartridge, although it is very thick, and it doesn't have the weight of the paper written on here. It just has how many sheets, there's no weight or anything, so we don't know that. Okay, so I'll put the video on now of me doing the pencil sketch, and like I say, I'll pop one or two notes underneath to say what I'm doing, but basically I move around, I keep looking back at the subject, and it's great practice just to sketch, just to use your pencil, and makes you look, makes you observe. So I can recommend, especially if you're a beginner, just to get a pencil and a sketch pad and keep having a go at different subjects, looking at the tones, looking where it's the lightest, the darkest, and getting the basic shapes in and working around that. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.
Of all the money that e'er I spent it words that e'er I've had, they're sorry for my going away, and of all those sweethearts that e'er I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls into my lot that I should rise and you should not, oh, gently rise and softly come. Good night and God be with you all. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and God be with you all. Of all the money that e'er I spent it in good company, and of all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me, and all I've done for want of wit to memory I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. If I had money enough to spend, and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips alone she holds my heart enthralled. Then fill to me the parting glass. words that e'er I've had, their